Greetings, people of Earth. Mr. Proctor here, and today we're going to talk about this trigonometry function-based animation thing that has actually generated some attention. So I'll just show you guys how to do it. So here we go. Let's start up Blender. And good news for the old default cube. Whoops, there we go. Okay, there we go. Good news for the default cube, it does not have to die this time. But I'm killing this lamp. Get out of here, lamp. Alright. I'm going to make this cube smaller. That was an S.01, just to make it really small. And the reason I did that is because I'm going to make this a particle emitter. And I'll just emit particles along the x-axis here so we can do some fun stuff. So particles are here. Add a particle system. Let's see now. I'm going to make this a little bit bigger. I happen to know that I want about 10,000 particles from frame 1 to 1,000. And if I play that, the particles all go spewing out of the faces of the cube that I just made. And I want them to live a little longer than this. Also, I want my scene to be longer. So let me just adjust this border here. I'm going to make my scene last 1,000 frames. That's where we set that. And I'm going to make my particles live for 1,000 frames. Also, I'm going to head on down here to field weights. Gravity goes down to 0. And now if I play that, the particles come off of all the faces, and they're not affected by gravity, so they just keep floating out there. Still not what I want. So we'll go back to the start. And under velocity, under the particle system, I'll change the normal vector speed to 0. And let's see now. Under emission source, we'll go from the volume. This doesn't matter that much. But now if I play, all the particles just kind of pile up right on top of the cube. So we need to make that cube move around a little bit. Let's do that now. I'm going to set one keyframe. I'm going to tap I to insert a key. I'll tap it. So I tapped I. I'm going to go to location, click, and I've set one location key back here at frame 1. Now we're going to go to animation, and I'm going to change this window into a graph editor, which isn't very interesting until we kind of start messing with this. So I'll tell you what, let's make the particles go off in the x direction, and we'll mess with the y location. So under the y location, you see over here, I can tap N to show and hide this little thing. Also, I can click this. If you forget about N, just look for that little weird arrow thing right there. Click that. Go to modifiers, add modifier. We're going to use a built-in function, and this comes in as a sine wave. And if I hold Control, middle click, drag, I can kind of resize this in a snazzy way. Alright, so I've got a sine wave going on here. And if I make it go, let's go back to the beginning. If I make that go, you'll see the box just goes back and forth. And it's emitting particles, but they're not going anywhere. So, let's go back to our particle settings. Let's go to velocity. Let's say, hey, give me some velocity in the x direction, maybe, I don't know, 10? I don't know. Let's see if that looks good. Go back to frame 1, play it. Okay, now we're getting somewhere. We got a nice little sine wave coming out. Now if I pause that, you can see that's made of particles. And they're all coming out of that cube that we made. And they're all just scooting around like that. So now if I wanted that to be a more like corkscrew kind of situation, I could add they're going off in the x direction. So in the z direction, if I click z location here, I can add another modifier, built-in function, and instead of sine, let's change that to cosine. And you can see those are offset by half a pi. Let's watch what happens. Nice. All right. And you can imagine if you just stick a camera in the middle there, that gets pretty fun. All right. So now we've got all kinds of neat things we can do here. I can make this amplitude bigger, like maybe 4. And over here on the Y one, I'll also make that a 4. So that'll make this whole thing bigger. And those other ones back there are cached particles, so that's why they're still there. But once this starts over again, you wouldn't see it. Boy, that's fast though. What if we made it less fast? We can do that. Let's see. I'm trying to get back to frame 1 here. If I tap home, okay, that works. Okay, here we are back at frame 1 or whatever, and you can see that the this sine function goes from all the way up to 4, all the way down to -4 in the space of like 4 frames. That's pretty fast. And phase multiplier is what we can use to make that faster or slower. So if I made that a 2, you'd see it goes faster. So now I'm going from top to bottom in like 2 frames. Or 4 would make it even faster. So what we have to do on phase multiplier is go actually a 0.1 maybe. That makes it a lot slower. You see that slope of the line is a lot longer. And now let's see what that looks like. Okay, so it's no longer kind of a curly Q. We're going up and down pretty fast, but we're going left to right on the y-axis kind of slowly. So that's kind of a fun way to visualize this sine function. Now if I click back over to the z location, if I do the same thing, take that phase multiplier to 0.1, now we got a nice gentle curly Q situation going on here. I like that. But in the video that everyone's kind of been commenting on and been noticing, this was doing some other stuff. So let's make it do the other stuff now. So just as a recap though, real quick, we've got the y location being driven by a sine function, the z locations being driven by a cosine function, and what that causes is a nice circular path for this thing. So this cube is just going around the x-axis in a circle. Now, what if that cube, and it's emitting particles all the way. So what if that cube was kind of jittering back and forth in the x direction? We can do that. So let's click on this x location here. Let's add another modifier. Let's try noise. That's fun. So we're getting this kind of squiggly line situation going on here. The thing that I ended up doing was I didn't use noise. I used let me get rid of that. I'm going to add a modifier, built-in function, and I'm going to go with tangent, which is not just a guy who's been in the sun for a while. So what you're seeing here now plotted is this tangent function scooting along, and depending on your zoom level over here on the left hand side, it's going to look more or less good. There's some jitteriness in those really asymptotic upward things. I don't even know if asymptote was the right word for that, but it's my video, so whatever. Anyway, check this out. So we're making this cool like cube of these tangent function graphs that just kind of propagate out. And if I go right into the middle of it, it looks kind of neat. I can change the amplitude of those. Let's change that to 4, which makes it longer. And if I position my view right in the middle, it's kind of flowery looking. I can change the phase multiplier. Let's change that down to like 0.1 and see how that looks. And what you're seeing is this is driving the location. It's kind of hard to see right now, but see that little orange head that's making those things come out? It's driving the X, Y, and Z location of the particle emitter. And there's really just kind of endless, things you can do with this. So I made that a 0.5. And you can get some pretty laser show looking effects with this kind of thing. So anyway, guys, that's what I did. I hope you enjoy it. Let me know if you have more questions, and I'll be glad to make another tutorial. Thank you for watching. Like, subscribe, share if you like it, and if you don't like it, tell your worst enemy about it, and maybe they'll like it. Thanks.